What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve.
I'm Lindsay.
We are finally doing it, guys, after seeing a ton of comments wanting me to show the Eurovision Song Contest to Lindsay. We are finally going to check this out. Now, I know Lindsay's going to love this.
You do?
Yes, absolutely. I really haven't seen the Eurovision Song Contest itself. I've only kind of looked at something similar as to what we're going to look at today.
Like an introduction?
Right. I've learned about the basis of what it is before, but I don't really, I've never really seen the Eurovision Song Contest itself. And I'm sure I'll learn some things from this video, as it's probably been a year and a half or so since I actually learned what this was.
Okay.
But everybody wants you to know what Eurovision Song Contest is.
To be honest, until you started this channel, I didn't even know this existed. I've never heard of it.
Right. Until maybe you've seen it in a comment or heard me say something about it or whatever.
But I really don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think I really want to watch it because I think it'll be really, some performance will be, really amazing. Others will be just really funny. Anyway, I'm not going to give away too much about what this thing is. Okay,
so this is Eurovision 101, basically, and
yes,
it's not the contest itself.
Yes.
Okay.
I have never seen this particular video. Okay. And so I'm expecting to learn some new things as well. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump in here and check out a beginner's guide to the Eurovision Song Contest.
The Eurovision Song Contest is a competition where various European, and sometimes not European, countries enter an original song, and then all of the countries vote for the best one, and frankly, it's quite wild.
Oh, I love it.
Since its quite conservative beginnings back in the 1950s, the contest has evolved into a colourful display of politics.
Oh, wow.
Oh, what in the world?
And actually also sometimes some pretty good music. So, particularly for the benefit of my mostly non-European viewers, let me introduce you to the weird and wonderful world of the Eurovision Song Contest.
Okay, guys, before we move forward, that's something I didn't realize, that countries outside of Europe, it didn't look like many. I wanted to see which ones they were.
Well, he highlighted Australia and Israel, which is strange.
There we go. Okay, let's see.
Australia, I
Sometimes
understand.
There we go. Australia and Israel.
Australia, I get because they're a Commonwealth country.
That's
right?
true. That's probably... Well, no, because this has nothing to do necessarily with just the United Kingdom. So was
right, but being a Commonwealth country
maybe,
of the UK, which is in Europe...
Yeah, maybe that's why.
Sense.
But why Israel? This is interesting. And is Canada here? No way, because that's obviously wouldn't make sense.
This isn't all the people participating, right?
Yeah, participating countries.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's most of Europe and then Australia and Israel, I guess. That's wild.
Okay.
I would love to know what the reason is behind Australia and Israel. Obviously, what you said about possibly because they're Commonwealth countries, maybe that's why. But
I don't see Canada on here, so.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let us know in the comments why that is, guys.
Now, particularly in recent decades, the contest has become known for its more eccentric performances. Some just a little quirky. Some just a bit garish. And some, well...
Lithuania.
Oh my gosh.
But even if the weirder, eye-catching performances are the ones that get a lot of attention, the songs that go on to win the contest are usually a bit more ordinary.
Norway.
Perhaps the most unusual act to ever win the contest was the Finnish hard rock group Lordi in the year 2006.
Finland.
And I'm not saying they were unusual just
That's
because
like, what's their name? That dress up.
A lot of bands do
No,
that.
you know who I'm talking about. This is an American band from...
Slipknot?
No, from like the 80s.
Kiss?
Kiss! Yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but that's more like metal and
No, I'm not saying the same type of music. I'm just saying that's what it reminded me of.
demonic costumes. Lordi winning the contest was also unusual because they were playing rock music. Rock songs rarely make an appearance at Eurovision, let alone win.
Rarely make an
The only other
appearance?
rock song that's won the contest was Ziti I Buoni by Italian band Maneskin in 2021.
I like his voice.
Him?
The sort of songs that typically win the contest will usually have a dash of novelty in their performance, but will generally just be a pretty good, straightforward pop song. Toy by Netta, for example, which won the contest for Israel in 2018, does contain a brief chicken impression. But beyond that, it's a fairly standard and fairly catchy pop song. And also, side note, if you're thinking right now, that song sounds a lot like Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. Well,
Yeah,
you're not
it
alone.
did.
Universal Records also spotted the likeness, and after threatening legal action, Jack White was credited on the song. So, in a roundabout way, the White Stripes kind of co-wrote a Eurovision winning song. Nowadays, most Eurovision entries, including most winning songs, will tend to be sung in the English language, regardless of which country they're actually representing. But this is a fairly modern trend. For the first couple decades of the contest, every winning song was actually sung in the country's native language.
Wow.
Which you would think that would be the case.
Yeah. 1960. When did this
The
start?
first winning song not to be sung in the act's native tongue was 1974's Waterloo, sung by Eurovision's greatest success story, ABBA. ABBA
Okay, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Did ABBA get their start at Eurovision?
Wow.
Or were they already big when they went on there?
Oh,
My
who-
dad loved
Sweden.
Swedish. My
Okay.
dad loves ABBA.
Wow.
Not really my cup of tea, but
ABBA aren't the only act, though, to have been launched to international success by Eurovision. In 1988, a French-Canadian singer called Celine Dion represented Switzerland at Eurovision and
Wait.
won.
why?
This is where she got her start?
Celine Dion was
No.
already well known in her home
Well
country of
known.
Canada as a French language singer.
But this
it
made
wasn't until
her-
after winning Eurovision that
Wow.
she started releasing English language music and became the global megastar that she is today.
Oh, wow.
I never
Another
knew
now
that.
has-
Okay, but I don't understand why she was able to perform for Switzerland when she wasn't from there.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like it would be
don't know.
fair.
Yeah, let us know in the comments, guys.
Told name to appear at Eurovision before they had quite made it is Olivia Newton-John, who
What?
represented the UK in 1974.
Long, long live love.
Much like with Celine Dion, in 1974, Olivia Newton-John was an established singer, but it would still be 4 years before she shot to global fame and starred in the film Grease.
I was gonna say that's what I know her
Now, if you're
from.
thinking, wait, how did Canadian Celine Dion represent Switzerland?
Yes.
Well, a Eurovision contestant doesn't have to be from the country that they are representing.
Really?
For example, American rapper Flo Rida represented San Marino in 2021.
That's weird. Why?
Like, how was...
I thought the whole point was to represent your country
Right.
and like your culture, but it doesn't really make sense. Why?
Has it always been like that, or is this just a
recent-
recent development? Because I gotta say, like, if I'm like...
One of the reasons I would tune in is to see
Well,
a different culture, you know?
Right, but like, obviously I would tune in because, America's not in here. I would tune in because this looks awesome.
Yeah.
I would tune in to hear
Yeah.
the song, see the goofy
But the
costumes and the...
uniqueness from each country.
No, but that's what I'm getting at. Like, if I was, like, in one of the countries that
Mm-hmm.
are represented in Eurovision, I would hope that the band or the singer that's up there is an actual citizen of my country,
Right.
because then I feel like they're truly representing
you.
me.
Yeah.
That's interesting, guys. Wow.
Maybe we're just looking too deep.
I wonder. Yeah, I mean, like, it just looks fun,
Yeah.
and maybe that's what it is. It's just supposed to be fun, and it's not taken so seriously.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm guessing. Like, we're kind of looking at it from like, oh, this is like the Olympics of music in a way, and
guess,
maybe
yeah,
it's
that's true.
not that big of a deal. Maybe it's more of
Like American Idol or something.
yeah, maybe it's something
Okay.
like that. Yeah, I don't know. Let us know in the comments, guys.
Alongside Italian singer Senhit. Flo Rida is one of many established artists who made an appearance at Eurovision. Although the song they perform at the contest must be a brand new composition, the performer doesn't have to be some little known or unknown artist. Many already very well established artists have appeared at Eurovision, including Cliff Richard, who represented the UK in 1968 and 1973.
Cliff Richard.
Congratulations and jubilations. I won the world.
And Katrina and the Waves, who are known for their 1980s hit Walking on Sunshine, who won Eurovision for the UK in 1997. The country to have won Eurovision the most is Ireland.
Wow.
And 3 of those Irish
Wow,
wins
look
are
at that.
actually thanks to one person, Johnny Logan.
Wow.
Johnny Logan is not only the only performer to have won Eurovision twice, performing Ireland's winning song in both 1980 and 1987, but he also composed Ireland's 1992 winning song. Ireland is also the only country to have won the contest 3 years in a row.
You go,
winning
Ireland.
Eurovision 92, 93 and 94. In fact, some have speculated that in 1995, Ireland intentionally entered a lacklustre song to avoid winning the contest a 4th time in a row. But why would a country not want to win Eurovision? Well, because the winning country has to host the next year's contest. And hosting Eurovision can be a very expensive thing to do.
That doesn't seem like much
Many
of a
speculate
prize.
that some of the more dreadful acts that have been put forward to Eurovision...
Okay, that makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
though, because
Why
like,
you would want to foil yourself from winning?
you see the crowd they have out here. I mean, it's a big crowd. They got to have a big, stadium or something for this.
Yeah.
They're going to have to have all the infrastructure set up, almost like, not like the Olympics, obviously, but this is pretty big. Maybe you would be able to offset the cost by tourism, because you got a lot of people coming from other countries, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I wanted to see the rest of the winners there real quick, guys. So Ireland is the number 1 with 7, Sweden, and then France, Luxembourg, UK, Netherlands, and Israel. Okay, there was, I don't know how many we saw, but it looked like 40 or so countries that were a part of this. These few, 7? 7 countries have won what seems to be the majority of them.
forward to Eurovision over the years were intentionally bad because the country didn't want to risk winning and therefore having to host the contest. This is particularly the case for the so-called Big Five. Although the main spectacle of Eurovision is the grand finale, most countries who enter the contest have to first qualify in a semi-final. But
Okay, hold on. What are we looking at exactly here? Is this like from a particular year?
I don't know.
All right, semi-final 1, semi-final 2. Maybe you'll explain exactly what this is.
the Big Five, France, Germany, the UK, Spain and Italy, automatically qualify for the grand finale due to these countries' large monetary contribution to the running of the contest.
So were they not a part of this list here because they
don't
automatically
have to
qualify?
yeah.
Okay, that's why we didn't see them. So it sounds like there's 36 total then, I guess. Okay, that makes sense.
This means that if one of those Big Five don't want the hassle and expense of hosting Eurovision next year, they might intentionally enter a mediocre
Oh,
song.
wow.
That makes
Now, the
sense.
system by which countries are voted for has changed over the years, but is generally some sort of mix of a professional jury and votes from the general public. The rules and structure of Eurovision have changed many times during the contest's almost 70-year history. An
70
interesting example of
years.
the rules
Wow.
having to change, actually, was after the 1969 Eurovision, where 4 different countries, the UK, Spain, the Netherlands and France, all won the contest. They were all joint winners of Eurovision. This is
wow.
because they all scored the same amount of points and no
That's crazy.
tiebreaker rule had been introduced to the contest yet. Needless to say, the next year a tiebreaker rule was introduced. Now, getting over 30 different countries to all compete against each other in a song contest is going to result in some politics. Of course, it's well known that certain countries will always vote favourably for their close allies. For example, Greece and Cyprus always vote for each other, and the UK and Ireland often swap votes. But more notably, in years where Eurovision takes place against more politically charged world events, you can often see those events reflected in the voting. For example, last year, Ukraine won Eurovision. And although their song was good, and Ukraine have won the contest before, it's probably not a coincidence that they won in the year 2022. Likewise, the first Eurovision Song Contest that took place after Brexit had completed, which was 2021, the UK scored the dreaded nil point.
And the United Kingdom gets
Oh,
From the
wow.
public, 0 points.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow, so there is a lot of politics to this.
But hey, at least you don't have to host it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Of course, it can be hard to tell conclusively how much politics is really influencing the voting. Maybe the UK's entry that year just wasn't very good.
Sometimes I know my fire burns low, but as long as you're with me, I'll
For example, when the UK got nil point in 2003, some cited the UK's recent and controversial joint invasion of Iraq as the reason that the UK had received no points. But also that year, the UK's entry did sound like this. So maybe it's not all about politics.
Okay, yeah, that was
Eurovision
kind of
performances have often been used as a platform for raising awareness and visibility of issues and causes. Perhaps
Look at
most
that, I
notably,
love that.
Eurovision has increasingly become a fantastic champion of LGBT plus pride. Various openly LGBT acts have appeared at Eurovision. For example, drag queen Conchita Wurst won the 2014 contest for Austria.
But you're my flame.
So that is Eurovision, a unique
Wow.
intersection between geopolitics and music, and one that never fails to surprise and entertain.
Wow.
Okay, well, it's not what I expected.
I learned a lot, by the way, on that.
Wow, I definitely want to see like a whole contest, like a whole.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure it's like a multi-day.
Or at least a compilation of like
The best
winners
of,
of
like,
each
the
years or
certain
something
year,
like that. Yeah, that would be fun. Or maybe from particular countries.
Or like the worst or the
The
quirkiest,
worst, yes.
The quirkiest.
That would be the best to see the
That'd be
quirkiest,
funny.
worst, the weirdest costumes,
Yeah.
things like this. I knew you would like this, and I learned a ton from this that I didn't realize. And it makes me wonder. It's like, so the country, like the government of a country may not want to host this, but the citizens themselves want their country to win.
Right.
Right? So you got to wonder, like, the citizens themselves most likely aren't going to vote against their own country
Right.
just because they don't want to host it. In fact, I'm guessing that a lot of citizens would like to have it hosted in their country, right? I mean, like, I can imagine if I lived in a country that did this every year, I think it would be awesome to host it in the country, and I have a much better chance of me being able to attend it, maybe.
Yeah, but also, I guess it depends on how the tourists who come for it treat your country. Like, do they respect it or do they trash it?
But then again, I mean, we're not talking like, with something like this, how many tourists are we talking about honestly coming
I don't
in?
know how big it is.
But let's imagine you're in a huge stadium, like a massive stadium. You're talking tens of thousands of people. You're not talking like millions of people coming in for this. Yeah. I'm guessing. I'm guessing the only tourists you would actually get for this would be the people that are actually going to it, right? And I have no idea how many people show. It looked like a large amount, but obviously we're not talking about millions of people here in this auditorium here. But for all we know, I don't know how long this lasts for. Like how many?
I think it's days.
Yeah, but how many days? And you got to wonder, do most people get tickets for the entire event, or do you usually get a ticket for like one day?
I'm sure like the finals is the most popular.
Right. Let us know in the comments, guys, how exactly does that work? How long this lasts for? And like,
have you ever been?
Yeah. It looks like it'd be fun. Yeah, that would be fun. I'd love to see some of the goofiest performances specifically.
Yeah.
But guys, this looks like a lot of fun. We love this sort of thing. Let us know in the comments what you think we should check out next in terms of, I don't know, anything like this, honestly. Because this is the type of thing that we don't really know much or anything about, honestly. I never heard about this until well into my journey on this channel, and you only heard about it from me talking about it and whatnot.
Yeah.
And because I learned a ton from this video, so that just goes to show you we have probably more to learn about this.
I'm sure this barely touched on the surface of it.
I still want to kind of learn how the judging goes, because there was something about it seemed like the people in the audience were
Yeah, I think it's a
scoring
combination
it,
of judges and
right,
like voting
and
from the countries.
Where do the judges themselves come from, for example? I don't know. I don't know. Let us know in the comments, guys. What do you think about Eurovision? And please feel free to leave your suggestions about other things we should check out next. But I think that's it for us today, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey to discover anything and everything about the UK, Ireland, and beyond. Thanks, guys. Until next time. Peace.
Bye.